Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Chaffee. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York, in Southwest Suffolk County, on Long Island, serving the entire New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area, and even beyond. Everything you need to make sure your home looks good, is working right, and is ready in case there is a tropical storm or a hurricane or other adverse weather. You can reach them at 631-756-1125. Best prices anywhere. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. On the lower right, we have Hurricane Fiona, which, by the way, has not really been distorted very much by the mountainous terrain of the island of Hispaniola. You can see the eye on the first frame shot here. I'm going to go close up in a moment, and then it kind of fills in, but the eye is beginning to emerge now into the Atlantic, and once it does that, it will reorganize, and I think it's going to probably wind up strengthening into a major hurricane. Also want to point out for our own local weather today from eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England that some of the area is under a risk for severe thunderstorms, isolated severe thunderstorms. And you can see on the satellite as of 10:30 this morning, the yellows there and the reds all indicating lightning strikes from some thunderstorms now moving into western Pennsylvania. And ahead of that, we have a fair amount of sunshine to do a little bit of daytime heating and take temperatures up into the 80s. But let's get back to Fiona. We could see the center here, the eye on the first frame, and then it's just right on the coast, just about getting ready to emerge back out over in the open water. Still, the core of this system is well defined, as is the storm itself. So I'm kind of impressed by the fact that it's held together, and I think that lends credence to the idea that this is going to become a major hurricane once it moves out into the open waters. The southeast Bahamas are also under a hurricane warning, as is the east coast of the Dominican Republic. And the other big story here, of course, is the big rains that continue over Puerto Rico. The problem is, if we just go back to the satellite for a moment, this took a track where it just basically crawled from southeast to northwest through the Mona Passage and over the eastern part of the Dominican Republic, which essentially put Puerto Rico not only in the heavy rains east of the center, but now it's dealing with these bands that are developing. You see lightning strikes there to the south of Puerto Rico, and those heavy downpours are moving northward. The rainfall amounts have been nothing short of amazing, 20 or more inches of rain in many locations. It's a little hard to make out the geography of Puerto Rico here because on the radar, the entire island is covered in moderate to heavy rain, and you see that rain to the south coming up from south to north. So even though the storm center itself is well away from the island, there's going to continue to see heavy rains until this gets far enough north so that it's out of the way of these bands, and that might not happen for at least another 24 to 36 hours. So the latest recon, one there right now, and 64 to 83 knot winds in the purple wind barbs. The plane is not yet completely reported on the center. I'm just going to see if we have on the graphic here. The pressures have come up to 999 millibars on these two measurements in red, and still getting winds, though, of 65 knots or higher. These are recon aircraft observations near the center. So really has held its own here, and I think you're going to see this thing strengthen some more as we watch it emerge. And here's the Hurricane Center forecast as it turns northward. And notice very, very slowly. These are in 12-hour increments here from now to 2 a.m. Tuesday, 2 p.m. Tuesday. A major hurricane as it starts to leave the islands, move north of the Bahamas, and then a turn to the northeast. And that means Bermuda may be next in line for Fiona sometime later Thursday night. And after that, we're looking at Newfoundland perhaps Friday night into Saturday morning, and an outside chance even eastern Nova Scotia could see something out of this. So Fiona's got a ways to go yet here, as we move through the day. And we're going to cover this completely tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show. Meanwhile, we're seeing a big pattern change, and we've got a couple of typhoons in the Pacific, the big storm that went up into Alaska, all altering the pattern across North America, and Fiona now adding its own element to this as it moves northward. We have this upper trough. You see it here from the Great Lakes. Starts to strengthen a bit tonight, late today and tonight, which is why we have the severe weather risk and the cold front with it. We're going to see temperatures today well up into the 80s in some places. Will be about 10 degrees lower tomorrow, upper 70s to low 80s. Should be a nice day on Tuesday. The humidity will be down. Then we're going to warm up again ahead of another cold front. And this is the one that's going to pick Fiona up and take it on out to the northeast with a pass very, very close to Bermuda or just to the northwest of Bermuda. And then it moves northeastward from there in the European. And this is the model that's furthest to the west with that clip of Nova Scotia to Newfoundland. GFS is a little further east. But for us, with the end of summer on Thursday and the arrival of fall on Friday, it's going to come with some really cool fall weather here. This is a strong upper trough. The flow from Canada, the flow is straight out of northern Canada. Sorry about that. Let's get that. Whoops. Now we got it. There you go. So the air here is all very, very cool. It's a very cool, dry air mass coming into the east, and that trough picks up Fiona. Then, by the way, that lifts out, and guess what? There's another deep trough that's going to dive into the eastern states early next week. So more cool autumn weather, and if you want to believe the GFS, there's even another one to follow that one. So we're going to be going out a lot cooler for the end of September and the beginning of October. Let's go to this afternoon and take a look at what we can expect with regards to these showers and thunderstorms here. The Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk of severe weather, less than 2% tornado risk, so it's mostly wind. Marginal risk for just about all of Pennsylvania except the southeast, northwest New Jersey, the Hudson Valley, Connecticut, so it's just north of New York City and just west of Boston, just north of Philadelphia. From there, north and west is where we have the risk zones. And as we take a look at how the model plays this out for this afternoon, we see the front moving eastward with some scattered showers and storms. The GFS is not overly bullish on these showers and storms. We'll take a look at the HRRR, which is a little bit more bullish, and you see the line here that moves eastward. Looks like the stronger thunderstorms are going to go mostly north of Philadelphia, north of New York City and Boston. Doesn't mean those areas to the south can't get clipped by a scattered cell, but the main activity is going to be to the north, and then it clears out into New England, and we see improving weather conditions come Tuesday. Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York, 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. So we'll leave you with this loop of Hurricane Fiona as the eye begins to emerge back out into the open waters of the Atlantic, and remind you that the Joe and Joe Weather Show will cover all of this tonight at 7:30 Eastern. So we hope to see you then.